Welcome back everyone, welcome back to my channel, Kumi's World in the Philippines. So I know I posted yesterday, but I thought I'd do a quick one today regarding my storage shed and the hollow blocks, the cement works and so forth. So this is my storage shed for the water tank. No, not just for the water tank, but it's going to be for the water softener filter, the salt tank, and probably some other tool storage stuff. Now, I don't need this thing to be insulated. I don't need it to be that secure, but I want to build something that would last, and using the local hollow blocks is the last thing that I want to use for any structure above the ground, below the ground for that matter. So I showed you guys on the last video that I bought some what do we call that, fiberglass ceiling. I believe these were 1,000 pesos per sheet. I got 6 sheets, so roughly $20 a sheet. And anyhow, had some tubular metal that we had during the first phase of construction. So we just, I put some primer on there to protect it. I hate metal exposure outside, but this is, at least it's under a roof. But anyhow, it gets screwed down on there-ish. And anyhow, had them cut a slot into the hollow blocks, put the tubular metal in there all around, and then outside we'll put a layer of hollow blocks on top just to hold it down some more. I know it's holding down here, but like I said, just another layer on top. Create as a border for the water, even though it does flow down that way. Anyhow, do I really need this to be strong? Yeah, structurally, but I don't care too much about the roof. I know it's strong enough, but if the roof somehow flies off during a typhoon, well, it's going to be very cheap to repair, replace. So that's where the water is going to run off. I'll probably put some gravel down here just to prevent some erosion going on. So as you notice here, that the gaps are filled. Some of you that live here or visitors here, you can see that most of them, they don't smooth it out. There's tons of gaps. And well, that's the thinking is that, they're going to fill it right after. They're going to put a cement plastering over it. That's what they call it here. They call it plastering when they put a layer of cement over. It could be, half an inch or an inch thick or whatever. Now my problem with local hollow blocks is that here is so weak. It's approximately 75 hollow blocks per 1 bag of cement based on a 4-inch block. That is really, really weak, folks, and I'll give you an example in a second. But anyhow, so let's say they didn't wet down the wall enough and they put a plastering material on there with the local hollow blocks. Then you go and drill into it, or you're gonna put a nail into it, a concrete nail, and believe me, it's gonna chip off into a big piece and fall off. It's just weak, pathetically weak. The strength, probably some cement on the inside, but they just barely pour it in there. It's not like they fill every single gap with a vibrator or something like that. With a local hollow block here, you use a vibrator inside, try to vibrate it in, believe me, it will break. So anyhow, it's completely done on all 4 sides. Typically, people leave the back side alone, but I'm not the type of person to do that. So anyway, we're still going to finish this up. Anyway, let me give you an example of local hollow blocks here. So this is the local hollow blocks here that I told you about. Okay. Now, I'm going to use 2 fingers. And watch this. Now, why the hell would people even use that? It's just nothing more than holding up space, right? Anyhow, so if you make your own hollow blocks like we did here, now all my requirement is I want it hard enough so that I can't break it with my finger. So based on a 26 blocks per one bag of cement, and I'm not using lahar, I'm using real sand. So 26 6-inch block per one bag of cement. So you can figure out the cost based on 215 pesos per bag of cement and plus labor. So labor, I don't know, maybe I don't know, 26 to 50 bags. I'm sorry, 26 to 50 hollow blocks per day. It takes quite a bit of time and heartache to make it, just simply because if you don't do the mix correctly, which I required them, after quite a few hollow blocks, but I wanted them to make exact measurements of the sand, the cement, and so on, and make sure they put enough water. And sometime when they release the lid from the mold, the whole thing collapsed. So it is what it is. But like I said, my requirement is that I don't want to be able to break it with my fingers, not just one finger, but at least 2 or 3, or my whole entire hand. Then I'm happy. So anyways, hope you like it. The front gate is going to be made out of tubular metal sooner or later. I think what I'm going to do is get the tubular metal and create a frame around it first. Then on the frame I'll drill a big hole, then behind that small hole, then I'll hammer drill into the cement and put some wall anchoring screws in there, probably some long Tapcons. Then I'll cover up the hole with some kind of grommet. Anyway, then get a gate made. It doesn't need to be too high of a security area right now. So, pretty happy. Anyhow, still going to use this for future stuff over there. So, I went ahead and bought 3 more pieces from a subscriber that's building in Pangasinan so that I can finish my project. So even though, some of the things laying around, it's still good as long as the rats doesn't get to them. The sun doesn't do anything to them. It doesn't make them powdery. It doesn't do anything. If you get a little bit of mud on them, so what? It washes off or whatnot. It's too easy. The only problem is if you have rats around, the rats probably like to chew on them and make the styrofoam into a nesting area. So that's the only problem. Anyhow, thanks for tuning in. If you haven't done it already, please like, share, and subscribe to my video. And take care.